Hey there, how are you doing? Is everybody warm and cozy on this frosty Wednesday night? To any of my friends and followers who are watching from down south, I hope you're enjoying the snow. I hope you're staying safe and cozy. For all of us up in Scotland, I don't think it's hit with a vengeance yet, but I think it's coming. My husband Tom especially loves the snow, so we're really looking forward to something. Hey Karen, glad you're here. But yeah, so tonight I'm going to be playing with some of the goodies that I showed you last week on our live unboxing. And so yeah, I'm just going to jump straight to it. Right, let's put that back in place. Right, oh, lights, camera, action. It's definitely a lot darker at this time of year. And so you've said in the past that you like it when it's light and bright. So these are the sweets. Hey Shona, hey Ali. Shona, I've got a reply sitting in draft to you, so I'm sorry it hasn't come through yet. And I will just mention for everybody that's coming to the retreat, we are finalising the information that's getting sent out to you. We're really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. And we'll make sure that email gets sent out to you ASAP, I promise. Yeah. The suite that we're going to be playing with tonight is the one of the ones that we showed in the unboxing last week. So this is the Irresistible Blooms stamp set, which I haven't had a chance to play with. You ever find that your life just runs away with you and you don't get time to do all the things you really want to? These dies, so looking forward to playing with these dies and especially these papers. So I've seen some lovely ideas of things which other people have done with them that's inspired me. I've got some ideas about some designs that I want to do myself. So we're just going to jump straight to it. So let's start with the one thing I didn't grab, which is my trimmer. I really should get a wireless microphone because this one I have to unclip every time I move away from my desk. And you know what I'm like, I'm always grabbing something from somewhere. So start off with a thick basic white card blank, and I'm going to do it in this orientation. So I'm going to cut at 10.5. Hey Debbie, glad you're here. Hope you had a lovely holiday. I was very jealous of some of your pictures. It looks like you had a fab time. We're going on holiday over Easter. Can't wait. I'm going to spend some time with my husband's family, which should be fun, she says enthusiastically. No, it's going to be a nice time. It's always nice to get a bit of a break, isn't it? Right, so here's my card blank. I've got that started, just a normal C6 with a tent fold, so opening at the top. Next, I'm going to do, now, I know in my head what I want to do. I'm just not sure how the sizings of this is going to work. So I'm going to use this die here, this circular one. But I need to make sure that the layer that I use it with isn't too big. So let's just do a quick measurement to see how big it is. 9. Do you know what? Will I fit it onto 9 or shall I do it in 9.5? That's 10. Let's do it 9. This doesn't make any sense to you at the moment, but it will. So I'm going to... I want it to be 9 centimetres wide. It's normally 10.5 centimetres wide, so I'm taking 1.5 centimetres off. So normally my length would be 14.8, but I'm going to take 1.5 off, so that takes it to 13.8, takes it to 13.3. Not very good at doing maths in my head, but we're going to give this a try, see how it works. And then 9 centimetres in the other direction. And if this works, yeah, there we go. So I've got a layer that's got a wider gap around the edge than I usually do, because let's do this bit first. I'm going to use this die here and cut it out. So let's get my cut and emboss. I brought all the plates over because I've got the new embossing folders here as well that I want to have a play with. So I thought let's just bring it all over and we can have a play and try whatever we want. So let's push this through. Just going to run it through the once. That should be enough, she says optimistically. Yeah. Oh, that's cut beautifully. Very happy with that. Right, let's pop that down to one side. Push all these plates over. What is it like where everyone is? Do you have snow yet? Are you still just cold and chilly? It's been very cold here. Partway through this morning, I was at work and I was thinking, I'm really cold. I was putting on an extra jumper. Then turns out our heating had switched itself off. So that's never going to help. Right, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Love this. So at the moment, I've got my white and my white. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to these gorgeous papers. And the one that I want to use, I'm going to use this one here. And I'm going to trim it. So I'm going to trim it at 14.3. So taking just a tiny bit off the top here. And then I'm going to trim it at 10 here, like that. So then what I want to do is layer this on top, and I wanted there to be quite a nice border around the edge here. My paper, and then that goes on top like that. See that? That is gorgeous. I really like that. Let's start sticking this down. How is that for a quick and easy card? I mean, this paper is just so beautiful. It does all the heavy lifting for you. Peel off that little bit of glue that's ended up on the nib. There we go. Remember, Tombow is very forgiving, so I can put this in, then wiggle it around to make sure I've got it centered. So all I've done here, so normal card blank, which is 14.8 by 10.5, and then my DSP layer is 14.3 by 10, so I just took 0.5 centimetre off, and then this piece again is another, it's actually a full centimetre off, so main one is 10.5, this one is 10, this one is 9. And then so down this way we've got 14.8, the DSP layer is 14.3, and then this is 13.3. So that's just going to stick on there. And at first I thought, should I do it with dimensionals and have it lifted up slightly? What do you think, dimensionals or flat? Let's do dimensionals. Do you know, we're going to give this a try. We can do the next one flat if we want, but I'm just going to trial this. Ooh, but before I do, I'm going to stamp a sentiment along the bottom. So let's see the colour. So if I have a look at the colours that goes with this, Daffodil Delight is that yellow, Flirty Flamingo, Petal Pink. I think Flirty Flamingo is going to be the best pink to use with this. Let me grab my ink. There we go. So I think this is going to be a thank you card. Let's do these as thank you cards because I've had some lovely customers who have purchased from me and I like to send them thank you cards. So that seems like a good thing to do. Let's just mount this quickly. Right. There we go. So there's my thank you. I'm going to use my Flirty Flamingo. You think dimensionals, Ali? I think you're right. I think the dimensionals will really help it, but that means that I'm going to want to stamp it before I stick the dimensionals on. Let me just see how. There we go. Looks fine. There we go. Perfect. I can tell Flirty Flamingo isn't one of those shades that I use very often because the ink pad is really stiff. And the ones that I use all the time, it just slips open and shut really easily. But the ones I don't use so much, it sticks a little. Let's clean that off. Now you see again, I'm wondering, I mean it's nice with just the sentiment on the top, but I'm actually wondering, you see we've got this splatter piece, to use some of the splatters on here as well might be nice. And again, if we consider the colours, so we've got Flirty Flamingo, we've got Petal Pink, and we've got the Daffodil Delight. I'm wondering about Petal Pink splatters just along the edges. Let's give this a try. Again, I love how there's the splatters on the designer series paper itself. It is beautiful. Let's have a look at this splatter piece, see what we think. Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to. Let's just... Problem is I can end up getting carried away, but for just now, what do we think? Do you like it with the splatters? I think it just lifts it. It would have looked nice plain as well. See, now I'm not sure. I can still change it. I can flip it over. I'd need to pull that dimensional off. What do you think? Plain? I will still put a thank you on there. Or splatters? Tell me what you think. I like both. That's the problem. It's too much to decide. You like it plain? Yeah. Okay, thanks Flora. Thanks Ali. Votes for plain. Let me try and carefully peel off this dimensional then. And let's do the sentiment on this side. Maybe I just got carried away with the splatters. Oh no, we've got 2 votes for splatters. Oh, that changes everything. Right, who's going to be the tiebreaker? 2 for plain, 2 for splatters. Next one wins it. Come on, I know we've got people that haven't commented yet. Let me do the thank you again, because then we can see what it looks like on plain and what it looks like on splatters. Plain. There we go. Karen's been our deciding vote. It's a shame, ladies, because I like the splatters as well. Let's just do a little bit of a comparison. So that's plain. Which, yeah, I like it. It's clean and simple. And then that's with the splatters. See, they're both nice. They're both nice, but I did say I would go with the majority votes. So let's stick these dimensionals on. That's the good thing about this sort of design is I can do it this way this time and I can do it another way the next time. So hey Julie, glad you're here. We nearly needed a tiebreaker there. We had lots of debates as to whether it was going to be plain or splatters. Just before I cover it up, that was the splattered side. But we've decided to go for the plain side. And we decided to go with dimensionals, which I think was the right call, because I think just having them stand out, I think that's quite pretty. And, do you know what? If we're not going to do splatters, let's do some of the gems. That might be the way just to give it an extra something. Pink gems. Where's my pick it up tool? This is where the pick it up tool really comes into its own when you're starting to use stuff like this. So not the teeny tiny one. Pink gems on either side, a couple down at the bottom. And should they be pink or should they be yellow? Let's try the yellow ones. What do we think? The yellow's quite nice. On either side of the... No, you see, I think if I was going to do the yellow, I would do it down in the bottom, like that. So, cast our votes then, folks. What do you think? Yellows or pinks? One vote for pink. Go on, first to 3 votes and that's what I'll do. Pink's at the side, pink, pink, pink. There we go, the pinks have it. Let's pop the yellows back in the box. Alright, let's pop them to one side. I'm just going to put tiny little dots of Tombow. Pink, but 3 at the bottom. Oh, now you're getting demanding. There's 2. Let's see what the third one looks like. Two or 3? I can't decide which I like best. 2 or 3. Three, yeah, no. Seems like it was the right call, Julie. 3 it is. Let's put that third one on. There we go. By the way, if you've not got a take your pick tool, this is just one of the reasons why you need it. It's just so good for positioning and lifting and just getting them all right and in alignment. There we go. Right, so there's our first finished card this evening. What do we think? We like it? That die really does a lot of the lifting. It's really, really pretty. And at first I thought, could you use the middle and have that as a shape? And you could. It's a little bit of a weird, odd shape. But yeah, I like that. Right, card 2. Let's move on to the next one. I'm just going to put away my stamp, which I think I cleaned. Yes, I did. Right, so the next cards that I want to do, let's get my, it's basically the other half of my basic white, and let's score that down the center. So that's my 14.8. Create my card blank. And this time I'm going to use this long one here. So, I was thinking about whether I was going to use it with the papers, because the papers are beautiful. But, right. I take this piece of paper and then let's reach for my scraps. So I want my petal pink, my flirty flamingo, and do you know, I'm gonna take my daffodil delight as well. I know it seems like an odd, although it's almost like a sunset, isn't it? Let's see how this is gonna work. And I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. Let's start. Take a piece of that. There's a good sized piece. I'm trying to be better at using my scraps instead of always going for full sheets, because I do have a lot of scraps. I need to use them up. Let's go. Let's get our die. Now, what is it I always say about using intricate dies? The trickiest thing about using them is remembering to use your adhesive sheets first. So let's get my adhesive sheets, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically do 4 strips of this, but using the coloured cardstock down my card. So I was thinking dark pink, yellow, and then possibly that at the top, or I might leave it white at the top. We might have the sentiment in there. I'm still working this one out, so stick with me. Any thoughts or suggestions or ideas you've got, you know I love to hear them, so tell me what you think. But for just now, I'm gonna just cut this in half and let's peel off. These adhesive sheets are fab. They're basically just really, really big double-sided tape, aren't they? Let's do one in the deep pink. So that's my flirty flamingo. One in my petal pink. Now, do you know what? It's poking out the edge here. I'm going to trim this off because otherwise I'm going to end up with glue all over the plates of my cut and emboss. And that is what gives me marks on my cards when I run it through, which I don't like. So where you can, where possible, try and avoid getting glue. Because even there, look, see these little grey marks? That's glue. That's just glue that's got stuck on there. I really should change these plates, but not tonight. Let's do this first and foremost. So let's do my Flirty Flamingo. Let's bring up my machine. What do you think of the colour combination I'm proposing at the moment, ladies? The deep pink is the Flirty Flamingo, the light pink is the petal pink. The yellow, I'll have to admit, the yellow's the one I'm really not sure about. The Daffodil Delight might be too much, might not be enough. We'll wait and see. Let me just poke out this. This is an interesting die to get out. I thought it was just easily going to come out in one piece. You kind of got to be gentle with it. I'm also not sure which part is part of the die and which part is part of... Ah, there we go. Once you get it out, it makes a lot more sense. These big bits drop away and you're left with that. Isn't that a cool strip? I think that's really cool. Remember, I've only got glue on part of it, so that's the part that we're going to be using. Flamingo pink, then DSP, then petal pink, white at the top or bottom for sentiment. Yes, I like your thinking. I was wondering if the sentiment would go in between, so like strip, sentiment, strip, strip. We'll cut them all out, then we'll have a look. The DSP is a real possibility, that's why I kept it out. And as I said, I'm not 100% sure on the yellow. I'm going to cut the yellow and we'll see what we think once we layer it all up. Let's put this one in. I love how dies help you get these shapes that just look a bit different, give a nice look to your card. It's really not complicated. With this die, I absolutely would recommend the adhesive sheets though, because I mean you could stick that down just with your Tombow or your fine tip glue, but it's an awful lot easier to use the adhesive sheets. Awful lot easier. And at the end of the day, who doesn't like an easy life? There we go. So there's our petal pink. See, I'll stick that with our Flirty Flamingo. DSP next. By the way, see if you're using one of these sort of intricate dies, make sure you poke out all of these little bits. So see if I turn that over, there's still one in there. I want to make sure I poke out all of these bits. Sometimes people say that their dies don't cut out all of the spaces. That can be because you haven't poked out all the little bits. Because if you leave them in, that will affect how it cuts how the die cuts on your card. So just make life easy on yourself. Let's chop off a piece of this. Who here has used the adhesive sheets? Do you like them? Do you forget to use them? Do you wish they did them bigger? What do we think? Who's used them? Who would like to use them? Give me your opinions. Are they too fiddly? Are they just right? Or do you forget to use them until it's too late? One of the tips if you're a forgetful person, and I can be a very forgetful person, I know that, is to put a sheet of the adhesive strips in the pack of dies. And then that way, as soon as you go for the die, you see the adhesive paper, the adhesive sheets, and you think, oh yeah, that's what I should be using. Easy to use, just need to remember to use them. Yep. Common problem. It's one of these things that's a good thing to stock up on as well. Just the same ways you would stock up on your glues or your cardstock. Just make sure that you've got what you need. There's nothing worse than running out of something when you need it. Let's have a look at the DSP for our final bit. Got them but not used them yet? Love to hear your thoughts when you do use them, Julie. Just thinking about the strips and when I'm going to use them, I could actually do one in white. That might look really nice, have like a white on white effect. Tell me what you think, if that would go nicely. Because then the sentiment could sit on the top. That's always an option. Right. Here's our DSP strip. What do we think? Should I do a white strip, or shall we layer these ones on and see what this looks like and then decide? Happy to go with recommendations. White. Choo! Right. Choo! Excuse me. I appear to be allergic to these strips. Let's do a white one just to see what that's going to look like. Some of my basic white here. Thank you. Thank you, Flora. That on. Now you see that was daft. I should have put it on a different orientation. I'm going to struggle to get this through now. I can do it. Just. Here's the. I'm busy looking for the plate and the two of them on top of each other. Let's crank it through. Has anybody had a look online yet at the online exclusives? So the Irresistible Suite is just one of the online exclusives that came out at the start of March. There's the stamp set, the bundle, there's the papers, but there's lots of other things as well. So I showed you the embossing folders, and we're going to play with them a bit more this evening as well. But there's loads of other stuff as well. There's more designer series paper. I showed you the metallic ones last week. But actually, I've got this here. I'm just going to show you this just now. Anybody else remember the 2-inch circle punch? Mine's got a red thing on it because it had retired, but I can peel that off now. Huzzah! It's back. It's back as an online exclusive. So you can get the 2-inch circle punch, which mine is a trusted punch. I have used that so many times. It's great for sentiments. It's just a good size for cards for when you want something that's a bit larger and a bit nice. So yeah, circle punches are back. We're really all very, very excited. Okay, let's bring down this bad boy and have a look to see how we're going to layer our strips. So we've got a white one. We've got the deep pink, we've got the pale pink, we've got the yellow, which again is going to the bottom of my list the more that I look at it. Although, do you know, put it on there like that, it's actually not too bad. Got the white there, and then this is the DSP one. What do we think? Yellow, in or out? Hey Margaret! Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I'm not able to comment on YouTube so much, so I'm glad you've come and joined us here instead. I do stream on YouTube, but I can only watch one place at once. In fact, it's hard enough remembering to chat to one channel. What do we think? Do we like the yellow or not? Should I take the yellow out? If we just had it. Actually, using the DSP as kind of a ombre between the Flirty Flamingo and the Petal Pink. Do you see that? How it kind of changes colour. Have the white up at the top. And have a sentiment in here somewhere as well. Quite like that. You like the yellow in. Yeah. Right. Let's put the white at the very top. Then let's do the pink. Then the yellow? Or do we think the Petal Pink, then the DSP, then the yellow, then the Flirty Flamingo? No, yellow up one. Or actually, yellow up at the very, very top next to the white. Then it's almost like the sun setting and then the pink's underneath. Do we like that? Yellow in, yellow in. Right. I think it definitely needs to be the Flirty Flamingo down at the bottom. So I'm going to stick that down. I want you to just tell me what you think about the order of everything out. At the moment I've got white, yellow, Petal Pink and then DSP. I'm getting a yes from Shona. Let me peel off these adhesive sheets and stick these down. Why am I trying to do this with fingernails? Especially as right now I don't have any fingernails. I don't bite them, but I do trim them regularly. I've never been one of these demos who has beautiful nails for their displays, I'm afraid. Very envious of those who can look so polished all the time. Unfortunately, I do not. But I'm here and I'm clean. So, right, let's stick this down at the bottom, like so. Tiny little. There we go. So there's my Flirty Flamingo at the bottom. See, whenever I'm trimming off excess, I always find it so much easier to do it from the other side. Because if you try and do it on this side, sometimes you're never sure which way you're cutting. Whereas if you trim it from the other side, it's very obvious. So let's just trim that off. Trim that as well. There we go. Okay. To be honest, you know you're going to laugh at me, but even a card just like that, with a sentiment or something at the top, just with those bubbles, they are like bubbles, aren't they? Do you know, I think my next card I'm going to do with this same die, but I'm going to do it in blues. Because can you imagine a seascape doing that with blues and greens? That would be really pretty. Let's do... No, that way around I think it's got to be. Yep. DSP layer is going on next. So let's peel off all of these little bits of adhesive. I hope you don't mind me asking for your opinions. I'm sure some of you will be sitting there going, look, just craft. We came here to see you craft. We didn't want to have to think about it ourselves. I know sometimes I just want to leave my brain at the door and just watch something and enjoy it. But on the other hand, I also enjoy the interaction. I love chatting to you all, and you often come up with better ideas. I think we are stronger as a group than we are on our own. So, and this has been a very design intensive week. We've been sorting out the designs for the retreat, which I am so excited about. It's going to be fabulous. Genuinely, we're going to have such a good time. Bye, Debbie. You take care. Ooh, a fish on the blue seascape. I like that idea, Julie. we do have a lot of really nice C-type stamps and dies and punches. Even like a turtle swimming on it would be quite cool. Although now as I look at it, definitely C from one direction. But if you did it that way, it's almost like a beaded curtain. In somebody, a beaded curtain leading into a kitchen or a living room. Do people still have beaded curtains? I haven't seen one in years. Used to get them in shops. I remember you'd sometimes see beaded curtains separating the front of the shop from the back. Ooh, you could layer them. Ooh. You could layer them. You could layer them really easily. I'm not going to for this card because I want to go all the way up to the top. Plus, I know I'm using that little bit of DSP there and I'm using cardstock. But remember other DSPs that you could use. Can you imagine using this die with glimmer paper, with foils? The limit really is your imagination. As I was thinking of beaded curtains, it was also making me think necklace. So this could be a really opulent card for a special birthday or wedding anniversary. You could have a lot of fun. As always, ladies and gents, if you do get this die and if you do give it a shot, then please do share your designs with me. I love seeing the cards that people come up with. Especially if you've seen something on this video, that you've been inspired to make something yourself. That's what this is all about at the end of the day. Inspire, create and share. I want to inspire people to create. I want to share my ideas. And I love it when you share your ideas with me. Because together we can do so much more. There we go. See, even that in itself. In fact, should I stop there? Shall I keep going or shall I stop? Don't know. Do you know what? While I'm deciding if we're going to keep going or if we're going to stop, I'm going to just cut out what my plan is, because I want there to be a sentiment, but my thinking was I'm going to use one of the dies here to cut out one of the flowers to sit on the top. Now, I was trying to decide which of the flowers though, because there's those ones, but I think there's one that's deeper. Yeah, these ones. So it was those deeper ones that I was thinking. Let me cut out one of these. Do you think the deeper pink rather than the paler one? I'm definitely leaning towards the deeper. Gonna cut that out. Yeah. Let's just trim this off. Bring up my trusty machine again. They are absolutely beautiful papers, Margaret, and the dies are just fabulous. They are part of the new online exclusives range, which just went live at the start of March, or rather just went live to customers at the start of March. Demonstrators have been able to get them early. Now, online exclusives are going to run basically 3 times a year. They're going to always go live to demonstrators first, and then customers will be able to view them and access them. They're going to be very much while stocks last. Popular items might get restocked. Still all very much a bit of a journey here. You see, could just finish it there. Do you know? Put the sentiment. What do we think? Leave it at that or add the rest? Tell me what you think while I fish out a sentiment. This is going to be another thank you, I think. Or have it over this side. Just stop here. Yeah. So then here's our next decision. Do we like the flower at the left and the thank you on the right? Or are we going to have the thank you on the left and the flower on the right? You see, I started off that way, but now I think I like it this way. I'm thinking flower to the left. What does everybody else think? And I'm also thinking the flower is going to be on dimensionals. So while I stick these dimensionals on, you can let me know. Flower on the left, flower on the right. Okay, next one to vote makes it the tiebreaker. That's what I'll do. So flower, either flower on the left or flower on the right. Who's going to say next? Flower on the right. Flower on the right it is. That is what I shall do. Yep. Let's do it. There we go. Clean off my stamp again. Let's peel this off. Actually, you know, peeling off the backs of dimensionals with your pick 'em up, take a pick tool as well makes it nice and easy too. So, anything for an easy life. There we go. Do you think we need some more of the gems on here as well? I think a couple of our pink gems in position could look nice. Randomly dotted. There's one of the teeny tiny ones. Just the two? Oh, where's the teeny tiny one? There. Or actually, put a teeny tiny one on the flower. Yes to gems. There we go. This gem, I'm trying to decide where it should go. It's almost like just a bead of water. Just flip that over. Like a little dewdrop. Yeah, do you know what? Where I had it was fine. A little bit of glue. There we go. So that's our second card this evening. So we've done 2 so far using these dies and using these papers. Honestly, I love how these have come together. They've been very straightforward, very easy to do. I realise we're now just coming up for nearly at the hour mark. Shall we try? Do we want to do another card? I'm tempted to do it with all the blues and the greens because we've got the blues here. What do you want to do? One more or call it a night? Let me know what you think. I'm thinking to use this strip again, but to use it in blue. More please, more please. Okay, how can I resist? Let's do another one. This time, what I'm going to do is, let's bring out Bermuda Bay, one of my favourites, with Coastal Cabana. And I'm going to do, in fact, yeah, I've got a card blank in the Bermuda Bay to start with. Although I didn't want it to be in that orientation. Ah, you see. Yeah, that'll do. So, let's get my trimmer. I'm pretty sure this is half of A4. We'll soon find out if it's not. Let's do 10.5. Do it in this orientation. There we go. And then what I want to do, so let's just measure this. That is, I'm going to say 3.5 centimetres wide. So I'm going to score that at 3.5, fold it in on itself like this. There we go. So this way I've got called a triple card. I'm going to put, see, am I going to put it down the centre? I'm going to put it down the edge. Can't decide. That white bit, I didn't do it as the full length, and I really should have. I was going to do it in the, let's do one in the white and one in the Coastal Cabana. Let's find a good size. That scrap that's big enough. Just. Let's trim this. I'm going to trim this at 3 centimetres. No, I'm not. I'm going to do it at the 3.5. Normally I do it slightly less than the die, but because this die has got so many strips down it, doing it less might not end up the way I want it to be. So. Can the papers be bought from me, or is it online only? You can place an order through me and I will order them from you. They don't appear in the catalogue, which is why they're called online only exclusives. But if you wanted to place an order with me, you could phone me up, you could drop me a message, you could send me an email or a Facebook message, and I can process an order for you. I am going to be putting an order through next... Let's do it on Friday, because I have got more things that I want to order for the retreat. So if anybody is interested, obviously you can shop online at any time you like, but if you order with me, then it's only £1 postage rather than the $4.99 postage that it is online. Right, it might actually have gone up to $5.99 postage. So yeah, you can buy them from me, or you can shop online. If you are going to shop online, I would encourage you to use the hostess code that you should see at the bottom of the screen there. It's also on my website and it will be on my Facebook page. I don't think I've put it up for March yet. But using the hostess code means that I send you through an extra freebie in the post at the end of the month. because I gather all the orders together and then spend the hostess freebies on my lovely customers. Of course, if you're placing an order that's £150 or more, if you're wanting lots of goodies for yourself, or if you're grouping together with friends to put an order, a combined order in, then don't use the hostess code because you get the freebies yourself. I would hate for you to miss out on something that you are due. So, let's see. Let's pull these out. Now I ended up with all these thin strips. They could be interesting to do something with these bubbles. Oh, bubbles, you could have these in like oh, do you know what? See if you got a few of these in, I was thinking in brown, and you put them on a card and then you use an acetate sheet to kind of curve over the top. Couldn't it be bubbles in like a glass of beer or a glass of champagne? You could have so much fun with this die. I'm going to have so much fun with this die. Let's see. Down the centre, down the left, down the right. Let's pop it to one side until, because I'm going to pull out these papers. For all that these papers don't have Coastal Cabana in them, I'm wondering how well they will still go. Because a lot of the colours kind of correspond. This one, to be honest, maybe more Evening Evergreen would have suited. It's a bit darker. Although there's one that I want to try because it's got, yeah, these ones. It's a bit darker. The Bye Ali, take care. Oh, there was a paler one. Maybe I was imagining it. Yeah. No, I'm not going to use these papers for this, but I am going to use... I'm going to use that on there, I think. Should we do white as well? Let's do white as well. Let's cut another strip of this. Don't know why I'm using this in scissors. I should be using my trimmer. Hey-ho. It's clearly reached that stage in the night. There we go. To poke out the last bits of my die here. I do have a brush that helps me get all of these little bits out, but it's to the other side of the room. I'm being lazy. Remember, if you've got the mini cut and emboss, this die would go nicely through it. The bigger one wouldn't though, so if you are thinking of buying these dies, you'd need to make sure that you had one of the machines that was this size. Oops. Slide that over. Oh, I just had a fab idea for another way to use these dies. I don't think we've got time for it tonight, but can you imagine if you've taken your paper and you've coloured it in stripes and then you cut it out with a die? I think that would look really pretty. You could use your watercolour brushes, you could use your watercolour pencils, you could use the blending brushes. That would look really cool. Next time, I promise. I know I'm a bad person for giving you all these ideas and suggestions. Let's cut this to go down the centre to be in the insert of my card. So I'm going to do that 10 centimetres by 14.3, because then that will give me a ½ centimetre margin around my card. So I want this to be inside like that. Oh no, it's not. Did I cut that to? I should have cut it to 14.3. What did I actually cut it to? Is this too big? Yeah, the card base is too big. It's not quite A4. So let's trim this down. 14.8. I was thinking, why didn't that work? But it's because it's a good thing I checked this now, because it would have been too big for the envelope. So here we go. So there's my basic white layer that fits inside, and now fits inside perfectly. Then I've got my Coastal Cabana layer and my basic white layer. The other way around, I think, actually. Basic white there, Coastal Cabana there, and then we're going to put a sentiment on the top. Also wondering, do you know what, we're going to have a quick experiment with something. Let's get my Bermuda bait. And a blending brush. So this is very much winging it at this point. So if this doesn't work, don't blame me. I'm going to use this yellow piece that I didn't use before. I'm just going to place it on here. Now before I ink it, just want to see how this is going to work. Yeah, do you know what? I think this could work. Let's give it a try. Moving slightly. And then let's move it down. Get a bit further more down here. Designed to be very abstract, right? Use that just to cover up those. Also ending up with very blue fingers. Do you know what? Just to look at that, my fingernails are all blue. Let's just go slightly over the top. Kind of even out these bits here. What do we think? Do we like that? There's some bits there that are darker than I would have liked. Let's try and blend them a bit more. Wing it Wednesdays, absolutely can. What do you think? Do you like it with that? So if I consider putting that in there, so we then have oops, no, where's my big long white piece gone? Could have sworn I had a big long white piece. It's not that one. Oh, there it is. So White in the centre or white to the left? So that's white to the left. Let's put it back to the centre. You tell me which you prefer, white to the left or white to the centre. I'm going to glue this inside. White to the left. There we go. Yeah, votes for the left. There we go. Right, let's put this on then. Honestly, these adhesive sheets are an absolute godsend. Can you imagine having to use fine tip glue or something else to glue down all these tiny little strips? In fact, I think I might just say to anyone, so if you do message me and say that you would like to purchase these dies and this stamp set or the papers or in fact any of this suite, I might just say as standard, would you like the adhesive sheets to go with it? Trust me, you'll thank me later. Yeah, look at that. How easy is that? Just going to trim off those tiny little bits at the bottom. And then let's do the same with my Coastal Cabana layer. I think this die is going to become one of my favourites. You'll no doubt see me using it a lot. Oops. This one is slightly shorter than the other one, so I want to make sure I stick it on properly. There we go. So we've got our card that opens up, so the front looks like that. But then what I want to do is have my sentiment. So again, I'm going to use my thank you. Let's use my Bermuda Bay. Where's my white cardstock? I'm wondering if I can use this again. Using dies as stencils is a lot of fun. Just experiment, try different things with it. And the blending brushes are so easy to use. In fact, one of my friends was saying that they are so soft. She wants to use them as makeup brushes. And I suppose there'd be no reason that you couldn't. I might keep one set for makeup and one set for crafting with, because I think this is the wrong shade of bluey green to go with most people's complexions. Not as an eyeshadow maybe, but certainly as a blusher. There we go. We've kind of got a bit of abstract bubbles around that. And then the plan is to cut it out with my trusty 2-inch. You can't really see the blending. Flip it over. You can tell me what you think, if you like the sentiment with the blending or without the blending, but at the moment I'm leaning towards without the blending. What do we think? Plain or blended? It's probably plain, isn't it? Now you can do it right in the centre, which can look nice, but sometimes doing it kind of like a third from the top also looks nice. Plus I almost feel like I want to have something. See, that's too big to do around it. Let's just put it on. Where's my dimensionals? There we go. Let's clean off my stamp. So I think that's been quite a fun evening tonight. Let's have a look at the different cards that we've produced. So our very first one was the one using the circular die, just on a piece of basic white and then the DSP behind it. The second one was done using the strips die in kind of this ombre effect with a flower at the top. And then the third one, again using the strips die and a sentiment, just having like that. Let me know which one you think is your favourite. Do you prefer the bluey green one, the Coastal Cabana and the Bermuda Bay? Do you like the circular one with the flowers, or do you like the ombre stripes? Either way, if you do decide to make any of these cards for yourself or give them a try, then please do share with me. You know I love to see it. Right, let's flip back and turn off these lights because they're not flattering. But yeah, thank you all very much for joining me tonight. I hope you've enjoyed that. Sorry we've run on a little bit late, but I was having so much fun and I'm glad we got to do the extra card. Yeah, so if you've got any questions, if you want to know about any of the products that we've used tonight, or if you want to purchase anything, then please do get in touch. Or you can shop on my website 24/7 at www.shopwithemma.co.uk. Yeah, failing that, I shall see you all next Wednesday. And if you do want to order and jump in on my order, mine's going in on Friday, and I would need to have your order and your payment through by Friday, no later than 8 p.m. For me to put it through and to get the £1 postage instead of the full postage. So if you're interested in that, give me a shout. Okay, take care everyone. Good night.